Well, I'm here with Carol Walmsley and Christopher on picking up on a story I did 15 years, somewhere around there, because you're going on for 15 years.
In November, so 15 years.
Okay, and you literally, out of the blue, we thought, have a little chat, and I thought, brilliant idea, because this is one of the stories that I think we all think about and remember with sadness, but also with hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
How Chris is doing. But anyway, and while we're doing this, we can show some pictures from all that time ago. We haven't changed, have we, at all?
No, not at all. I'm thinner, slightly.
No, we're fine. Take us through the story, though, because people don't know what happened with Chris.
Okay, well, it was back in November 2006, and Chris's car had run out of fuel at the bottom of Richmond Hill, and he was refilling it with a can. And unfortunately, a car came along and didn't see him and hit him and dragged him along his own car, and his leg got caught up in the bumper, and he's got a reamed bar from his knee through to his ankle. But unfortunately, he also hit the car with his head, and then he hit the ground with his head. So he was left with severe brain injury. He's a quadriplegic, so that's all 4 limbs. Nil by mouth, and unfortunately, he can't talk to us, but he can communicate.
He definitely knows what's going on. That's the thing,
definitely, yeah, and he's got a wicked sense of humour. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I can now say that everything was sorted out insurance-wise. That's something.
Yes.
It's not. It can't ever replace things, but that's something
at
least.
Easier, yes, because at least we can afford care, and we've built a house around Christopher's needs, which is great, and we all live together, which is fantastic. He's not in a home; he's home with us, which is what we always wanted, and we wouldn't have been able to do that if it hadn't been for the insurance.
How has it affected you and the family, though? I mean,
well, my husband and I both have had cancer. We think maybe that was down to stress. But we're both survivors. Right. It's 9 years now. We did it together as well. So we both went through chemo together. That was fun. Yeah, a lot of trauma, a lot of stress. It's completely changed our way of life, obviously. And we've got older, but we're all still here, and that's the main thing.
And is there help out there when you needed it?
Well, there wasn't, so we set up our own company, and we employ carers, and we did do it as a domiciliary care company, so we were out there, but 2 years ago I was getting very tired, and we decided that it was time to call that a day, and we simply employ carers to look after Chris now, to help us, because it is a 24-hour-a-day job. There's no rest, he needs everything doing for him.
How do you remain so upbeat? I mean, I'm sure you have down days as well, but at the end of the day, you have this thing it's a lifelong. Yeah,
he's alive.
He's welling up now.
He's with us. That's the main thing. We could have lost him. We could have lost him a couple of times. And he's strong as a horse. Obviously, he had a determination to live, and did, and does.
And for people in the same situation, we're all suffering the same sort of thing. I mean, what do you say to people?
Oh, it's so tough. Never ever give up hope. If they're alive, where there's life, there's hope. It's very true. And brain injury is still so complex. It's still a great unknown, and the spirit inside us, it's amazing. He was determined to live.
Yeah. How do you communicate well? I mean, because obviously you say he's doing this, that.
He does, yeah.
How do you work that one out?
Chris looks up for yes, and he looks down for no. So,
I think I'm asking stupid questions now.
Well, the one question I ask him when we're at Drive Safe, because we do Drive Safe, Live Long.
Yes, that's what we saw you last.
And I say to him, I say to the audience, he can communicate, but he can't tell me he loves me. And then I ask him, and if he does this wrong now, I'm going to be very upset. Christopher, do you love me? Did you see it straight up? Look.
Yeah.
Do you love your dad? Yeah. Right. Now, Brother Philip comes in for a lot of stick. Do you love your brother Philip? That's more of a no, yeah, which isn't true, he does.
The workplace expressions I can see, yeah.
Yes, yeah, and he laughs, he gets jokes, and if they're watching the TV, quite often, an old film, say something like Smokey and the Bandit, and there's a punchline coming up, he's laughing beforehand, so he remembers. Yeah. There's things in there, he's in there, but unfortunately, we just can't draw him out the way we'd like to.
Is there anything else we came back in another 10, 15 years' time? Will things be any different? I mean, technology changes all the time, aren't
Technology does change. I mean, we've tried...
STEM research? And that?
We did. We had stem cell in Germany, and that was amazing. He did really, really well with it. Yeah. But unfortunately, it dipped very, very quickly afterwards. Yeah. But mainly because he needed a lot of intensive physiotherapy, and we hadn't settled, so we couldn't afford it, and so that was a big shame, really.
There's always hope, and I'm thinking,
there is.
Always keep an eye on those internet things and see what's up there. Yeah.
Yes, and we do, and he does have a computer for eye technology, but he gets bored with it. He does, he thinks, I don't want to do this. I want to go to the pub.
I think you're an inspiration, both you, and I know you can see the eye movements there, paying attention. And
He does pay attention.
and I'm not being rude because you can't talk. I mean,
No,
obviously,
no.
it must be weird. I mean, do it as an aside, when you're with other people, but they talk to you, is that annoying or?
No,
I mean,
it's
only...
surprising. A lot of people do speak to Chris,
Yeah.
and they speak to his carers, but they will talk to his carers and not to Chris, and they'll say to him, speak to Chris, especially if they've known him for a long time and they've not seen him for a long time, and I know it's a bit daunting to come over to somebody in a wheelchair, but if they do and they say, I knew Chris, the guys will say, well, say hello to him because he probably remembers you, Well,
thanks again.
No,
thank you, Chris. And all the best. And let's follow this journey.
Yes, definitely.